Hello and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I am LaWanna Bradford, and I am so excited for you joining us again this week on e360tv.com, and to those who are watching us on other platforms, thank you, thank you. And we have a very special guest coming to us today, none other than Suzy Prudden. You may have heard of her. You may be wondering, who is this Suzy? Well, we're going to be challenging a notion about a concept, a business principle called the Itty Bitty Book principle, business principle. And so many people are out there. You want to get something out, right? You want to solidify something in writing, to get that bucket list book written, to have a book that's read by millions around the world. But we know when we look at the numbers, most authors, they'll be lucky to get a 200 book copies sold in their book. So this is a little bit different. It's about taking, and I don't want to steal her thunder, but taking bite-sized information. We're in a time where things are going at a rapid pace. We're in information overload. So how do you take something, condense it down, distill it for a targeted audience, and then zoom in such a way that you showcase your expertise, your influence, your reputation to what ultimately impact, influence others, which then guess what? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It affects your bottom line. We'll be back in a moment for you to meet none other than Suzy Prudden. Hello, Suzy. Welcome.
Hi there, LaWanna.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. How have things been for you?
Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
Well, we're going to just jump right into things. I want to tell the audience just a little bit about you. Not only are you an influencer, a writer, a speaker, a trainer, an educator, but you're also a publisher. And as a businesswoman, as a serial entrepreneur, you have mastered this business principle that we like to call the Itty Bitty Book principle.
I think that's
I look at people and that they've got a ton of books over here, and people like volumes, right? They want weight. So it can say, look at all that I know. But your theory is it's like, okay, it's not about just what you know, but how you can take what you know to influence, shift, change, and improve lives around you. So I'm going to turn it over to you and help us to understand this business principle.
People today don't have time. And in the past, I mean, I've written a lot of books. I have a New York Times bestseller. I have a lot of books that I've written, 11 with the traditional houses, and I don't even know how many books on Amazon. And what I have found is that people read about 30 pages of a book and then they can't take in anymore. And I remember buying Tony Robbins' book on finance. It's about this thick. And I read 30 pages and I thought, there's too much information. So when my sister and I created Itty Bitty Publishing, we realized that people take small bites of information, they take it in and then they implement it. And so when Itty Bitty was created, it was created with that in mind. So Itty Bitty books are only 30 pages, 15 chapters, 2 pages each, literally written in numbered sentences and paragraphs, so that when people read them, they get the information quickly, and then they can stop, internalize it, and then implement it. And as a business builder, an Itty Bitty book sets you apart from everybody else who's dumping information on you. And people have to, I say we're like the yellow highlights of dummies. Quick.
You said something, Suzy, and you said 30 pages, 15 chapters, 2 pages per chapter.
Yep. An itty bitty, this is what an itty bitty book looks like. It's an itty bitty book, tiny. And page 1 of every single chapter looks like, well, that's page 1 of a chapter.
Okay.
You see it's a paragraph and then 3 numbers. And then page 2 of a chapter is a paragraph and then bullet points in a paragraph. It's amazing how much information, and what happens, as I just taught a workshop this past weekend, Write Your Book in a Weekend, where I worked with my authors writing their books, and we have a template and we have people fill in the template. And it's amazing to experience the writer, as we're working together, have to literally pick and choose the words to have a succinct page. And all of a sudden, the information, which you can drag out. And when I used to write books, I remember one of my editors at Workman saying, we want more, we want more. But I had said enough. I had said everything that needed to be said for that particular chapter. But we want more. We want fulsome, more words. And not today. More words today get in your way. And the beauty of an itty bitty book through my company is that I teach people how to take their book to grow their business, so that each chapter is a seminar, each chapter is a webinar, the entire book is a retreat, whatever a certification.
Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta. You're like blowing me over right now. You just
sorry.
No, I mean, this is great. 30 pages,
right?
As a business builder,
right?
You get 30 pages. 15 chapters, 2 pages per chapter, numbered format. So you're getting your takeaways. And then you said your chapters become webinars, training seminars, retreats, all in 30 pages.
And
how is that possible?
Well, you don't, I mean, it because each, so funny. A book, so your itty bitty book is complete in itself. And then you take and the author takes each chapter, and you can expand that chapter into a seminar, expand that chapter into a webinar, expand that entire book into a retreat. And then, and I have a lot of coaches who have done this, take that book and turn it into a certification program. So now you, the expert who's published an itty bitty book, becomes the, what's his name, the exercise, Pilates of your industry. I mean, people who write books are experts, right? The people who write books for itty bitty are experts in their industry. And writing a book positions you as the expert. So you get speaking opportunities, you get podcast opportunities, you become known. And I have a talk right now that I give. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And I can tell you more about that going forward. Because when people know who you are, they want to book you. When people know who you are, they want to sign up with you. But if you don't let people know who you are, well, then they don't know who you are. And through an itty bitty book, that's what you do.
Without giving away all of your trade secrets, with the itty bitty book, Suzy, okay, I've partnered with you. I understand the construct. I've developed my itty bitty book. It's now published, but where is it? Where can we find itty bitty books? Are these found on Amazon?
Well, they do sell on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon and all the digitals. You can go to my website. They're all there, ittybittypublishing.com. You can, but what's important, and this is for everybody, whether you're an itty bitty book author or another publisher author, you have to market your book. You cannot wait for people to find you. You have to be, I tell my authors, the work really begins after you've written the book. If you don't publicize it, it's not going to go anywhere. You might sell 1 or 2 copies a year. I mean, when I have a program with Itty Bitty, where we meet every single week to talk about marketing and publicizing. And what can I do next with my book? Because your book doesn't have legs. You have the legs. And you have to get out there. It's like me doing this show. I'm talking about my company. My company by itself doesn't have legs.
Right.
But this kind of an opportunity is the legs that's walking my book into the public eye.
So I'm hearing that I'm simplifying this. I hear three distinct lanes. So the one is an author comes in their area of expertise, and then you help them to distill and package their itty bitty book. Then you help them in publishing their itty bitty book. But then the last part is this ongoing training that you give. As you said, it doesn't have legs of its own.
Right.
To get out there, to market, to brand, to create this awareness that helps to amplify who you are, that then helps to generate revenue for you. Is that
right? Yeah. Books by themselves in today's market. Now you have to understand today's market is very different than the market before the internet. And so there are like 40 million books published every year. And and it breaks my heart, less than 0.5% of those books make any money. And people think when they sign up to do a book, I want to be a James Patterson. I want to be a Barack Obama. I want to make money like that. Well, it doesn't happen because you're not a James Patterson. You're not a Barack Obama. And this is good, you're an unknown until you're known, and it's up to you to get known. So I have one author who signed up with us very early on, Anthony Camacho. He wrote a book on sales coaching, and he did everything. We would meet in Pasadena and talk about, okay, what's next? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? And he did it. He was on radio. He was on television. He was on podcasts. He was in newspapers. He was in magazines, online magazines, paper magazines. He was everywhere and grew his company from $100,000 to $750,000 a year in 2.5 years. That's possible. It's not normal. It's possible. And so it's really about, once you have that book, and it's like a baby, once you have that book, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to get it out there? I have another author who is working with insurance companies. She's dealing with health, keeping people healthy. And the first order that she told me that she's getting right now is 100,000 books to the insurance company to give to their clients. That's how you have to think about a book. It's not onesie twosies. It's masses. And so how are you going to do that? And that's an important question to ask, because a book by itself won't sell. You have to sell it. You have to get known. You have to be front and center, like I am right now. That's what you have to do.
I love that. My mind is spinning with so many questions, and we have such a limited period of time. So, Suzy, you've got this great concept, the Itty Bitty Book concept, business principle. It's designed to help you leverage, expand your reach in a very strategic and targeted fashion. It's only 30 pages, and many people say, I don't have the time. Writing a book is so much work.
Yes.
What is the number one factor that you found preventing people from saying, you know what, let me try this new avenue. Let me go stray away from the traditional that may take me months upon months to get done, or people who are now just popping out book after book because all they're doing is chat GPT in their books.
Oh, we don't allow that. And there's a reason we don't allow that. And this is, and I apologize for interrupting you, but this is
good.
Amazon will not publish a chat GPT written book because it's not original. It's taking information from the past, which it does. And there are statements. I mean, my editor sent me a whole list of words and statements that are chat GPT. She knows immediately if somebody has written their book with chat GPT. And I asked my authors, I said, use chat GPT for ideas. not to write your book. You actually really need to write your book. Now, a lot of people go ahead and do it anyway, but I don't allow it with Itty Bitty. You've got to write your own book. And it's 30 pages, people. It's not like it's a tome. It's 30 pages. And it's your expertise.
Yes.
So I apologize.
No, that's good. And you had said something when we were speaking earlier to not one-off things, right? And let me sell a book here, let me sell a book there. But you can take the itty bitty and then package it. And like you said, whatever your area of expertise is, sell it to perhaps a physician's office or some other industry that can now give it out to their clients. Yes.
I have an author writing a book right now on nurse burnout. And we are creating lists of where this book needs to be. It needs to be in every hospital. So every hospital bookstore needs this book. And when you think about, how many hospitals there are. So if it's in the hospitals, and then she has programs to help nurses so that they don't go into burnout. This is a very powerful and important book. I have another book on how to train a dog. That book needs to be in every vet's office. It needs to be in every pet store. And because that's where dog owners go. So it's more than just leaving it on Amazon. And it's not, and I don't like bookstores, and I apologize for this, bookstores, but I had some bad experiences with bookstores, because when I was writing with the traditional houses and all my books were in bookstores, if there was a book, and there was a book that didn't do well, they returned the book, they tore off the front cover and returned the book. Now, returning the book would have been fine. I would have sold it for the rest of the years after that on my own, but I couldn't sell it because it had no front cover. So you really have to think very carefully, where do you want your book? How do you want your book positioned? Where can you sell it? And think of the industry that your book is in. Example again is Anthony Camacho with his sales book. He went to the automotive industry, took his book into the manager there, gave it to the manager, and the manager, it was so funny, he would give it to the manager along with a cigar. He's such a character. He's wonderful. The manager read the book, knew his sales team needed that information. He would create a one-day workshop for Anthony to come in. They bought the books for everybody in the workshop. And then, so they would do a 8-hour workshop. And then they would hire Anthony for the next 6 months, 8 months, 12 months to come in regularly to teach these people how to sell relationally instead of one-offs. And that's how he grew his company. And he literally traveled all over the world. He went to Australia 8 times to work with the dealerships in Australia that had dealerships here. I mean, he really parlayed that into a phenomenal moneymaker. But he didn't wait for people to buy it on Amazon.
Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators with award-winning business strategist and financial analyst LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group. With Raw Talk, we are empowering women to rise and succeed in business and finances and improve the world for the next generation. Get ready to get raw and real. Live each Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on e360tv.com.
Now, from a career progression standpoint, have you always been in writing?
No.
Tell us the backstory.
Oh my gosh, LaWanna, you had just opened Pandora's box. I should send you my fact sheet. I just sent it to GPT because we're working on something together. It's fascinating how that works. And so I'm 82 years old. I've been in business since 1965. I started my company. I was a fitness expert. in 1965, before fitness was an industry. I was 22 years old. I lived in New York City, and my mother was Bonnie Prudden, the nation's foremost fitness authority, who started the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. And when I ran away and got married at the age of 19, I didn't know anything. And this is TMI. And when I was 22, I decided I didn't want to work for anybody else anymore. I didn't like it. And I started teaching exercise. And I lived in a 5-flight walk-up in Greenwich Village, New York. I figured people got in shape just walking up to my apartment. But I started as a fitness expert in the 60s. And in 68, when my son was 2, I started teaching toddler fitness, which was not done. That's before Gymboree, before Mommy and Me, before my gym, and I think toddlers. And it grew. And people thought I was weird teaching toddlers, but it grew. And then I had an East Side studio and a West Side studio and a summer camp in East Hampton, Long Island. And that's where I sold my first book at a cocktail party in East Hampton, Long Island to William Morrow Publishing. And it grew. And then I did television, and I was on the Patchwork Family with children's fitness. And then I was on The Prime of Your Life with adult fitness. And then I did, I had my own talk show at one point on NBC in New York. Then I was the fitness reporter for the Today Show. Then I burnt out and I left the industry after 18 years. I left it up here, and then I started over down here. I was a pioneer in the body-mind industry when I started teaching body-mind, the body-mind connection in 1983. People thought, again, I was weird because I was told there's no connection between the body and the mind. They're totally different. I said, well, they live in the same house. And I did that. And I worked with Louise Hay. I moved to California. She and I worked together, and she published Metafitness. That's the book you see me. It's there. With Oprah, Metafitness, Your Thoughts Taking Shape. Did a video with her. From there, I went into coaching. From there, I went into hypnosis. From there, I went into, I combined hypnosis and coaching, and I created a whole bunch of programs. And then I got burnt out, and my sister and I created Itty Bitty by accident. In 20, we got the idea on Christmas Day, 2014. 3 days later, we were in business. 2 weeks later, we had our first signed author, and 6 weeks later, we had our first published book. And the rest is history. I mean, we really have taken off as Itty Bitty Publishing.
That's amazing. I love to hear people's origin story. I really do. I think it's so phenomenal. And wow, what a rich history. And we never know how our paths are going to, I guess it's just all the touch points all make sense. I mean, everything that you were saying, I'm like, okay, I can see this connected to this created this opportunity, and wow. And then
I've
just
always,
some of the people you've met.
I've always worked serving
Louis
people.
LaHaye, how amazing.
I've always worked serving people. I love the one-on-one connection. I love the one-on-group connection. It's exciting. I love watching people go from A to B to Z. I love when ideas pop, like you and I were talking earlier, and our ideas were popping off each other. It was like, oh, this is fun.
Well, we are almost out of time. So I want to give you about 3 minutes to leave any lasting words, teachable solutions that you want to the audience. And then I'll be back on.
Okay. So take a moment and think about what it is that you do, what it is that you love, what it is that you are an expert in, and really think about how you can put that out into the world. Because I believe if you're watching this show, that you have a passion for what you do. And you know that what you do makes a difference. And so think about what you want for yourself and for your mission. Because if you're watching this show, you are probably mission driven, and you probably have a purpose for why you are here in this life that you are living. And you are unique and brilliant right now. And people need to know what you do and how you do it, and how they can take the information that you know in your heart and your mind will make a difference to them and the difference to the people that they touch going forward. And so when you think about it, think how you can get your mission out there. And if it's writing a small book, if it's writing a big book, whatever it is, do it. Just risk it and do it. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work, but if you're not doing it, it's not working anyway, because you're not doing it. I mean, I've had phenomenal successes just by having an idea and doing it. And I've also had extraordinary failures. They don't feel good, but you learn. You know, failure is not a failure. It's an opportunity to go, oops, that didn't work. What do I need to do differently? What do I need to learn to do this differently so that my next idea, the next iteration of who I am is more successful than my last? You grow. And remember that if you create something and you are at the top of your paradigm and you say, well, I'm done here, I think I'm going to move over here, which is what I did. You don't start at the top of that paradigm. You start at the bottom. And then you work your way up again. So in the beginning of a new idea, it's not necessarily going to have the same impact at the end of an old idea, but it will have an impact if you keep at it. So look at your life, look at your purpose, look at why you're here, look at the difference that you make in the world, and leave a legacy that you're proud of. Leave a legacy that said, I made a difference. And in making a difference, I experienced a difference in myself. Because you all have something in you that needs to be shared with the rest of the world.
Wow. What a powerful way to close us out. Thank you so much, Suzy, for just, my mind is just popping with different ideas that I've picked up from this episode. And I just encourage all of you, if you want to learn more about Suzy, her information is below at ittybittypublishing.com. And just have a conversation. You never know where that door will lead, right, Suzy?
Absolutely. And on the website, there's a link that says, to talk to Suzy, fill this out, and let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can take your work and put it out into the world so it makes a difference for you in your company, and it makes a difference for your audience, for your clients, for the people you touch with your words.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suzy, for joining us on Business and Financial Raw Talk.
And thank you, LaWanna. It's been fun.
And to our listening audience, we look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. And always remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Be safe, be well. Until next time. Bye for now.